Hi, I'm Mike McKee. I'm the Florida Science Olympiad State Director and also the person who's organizing the elementary competition. This presentation consists of several parts, and so you'll only need to watch those parts that are relevant to you, and I'll explain on each one which one is relevant. So I'd like to thank you for helping out with the elementary science competitions coming up in May. And a little background about Science Olympiad. In the state of Florida, we have got an elementary, middle, and high school team, and the middle and high school teams go and compete at the state tournament in March. The elementary competition, which is coming up in May, is really part of a larger organization, a Science Olympiad, which is across nearly all of the states. And there is a total of about 15,000 participating students in Science Olympiad. It was started in 1983 by Gerard Putz and Jack Cairns as a way to increase involvement in science and improve the quality of science education. It is designed very much like a sports competition in which there's team organizations that compete against each other, and then we give out medals and trophies for how well each of the students do in the different competitions. So for the elementary competition, we've got it structured in such a way that there are 12 students on a team that are led by a coach. So the coach is an adult. Most often this is a teacher at a school, but it doesn't have to be. And each school can have more than one team, and each just pays a registration fee. So these teams actually, even though they're from the same school, will still compete against each other. We have got 13 different events that range across biology, chemistry, physics, earth-based science, and engineering. And then each team pays a registration fee. And for us, the competition is on May 9th. So here are the events that we have at the competition. And I've got these bolded and underlined and italicized. So the underlined ones are the ones that are lab-based events. So these students will come in, and then in a 50-minute period of time, they'll compete in, let's say, rock hound, and so they have to identify rocks and answer questions. So these are sometimes test-based, but there will be questions, and in some of these cases, they are allowed to bring in a binder or resource materials that they can use during the activity. Others are building events, so these are things that they build either ahead of time or on site. And so egg drop is something that's pre-built, so they will build it and then test their device at the competition. And then there are lab-based events like mystery powders, in which they will do a lab. So the rules that I've written always take precedence. So you always want to go back and read the rules, make sure you understand the rules, and then also check for clarifications. And I have posted some clarifications at the Elementary Science Olympiad website. And then you click on events and you can see the clarifications. So the rules, here's a sample of the rules, and there are parts of the rules that are bolded. And in here, this just means that it was a change from the previous year. It doesn't mean that we're adding emphasis on this. It's just that there's been a change in previous years. If nothing has been bolded, this means that this is a new event, and there were no changes. One thing that you'll need to be careful of is watch for the scoring, and make sure you design the activity so that it follows the scoring. Now, in the egg drop, for the event supervisors, there's very little for the event supervisor to do other than prepare by getting the materials that are needed to do the test. So it could be a scale, could be tape, tape measure, and so these kind of things the event supervisor will get together, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But you do want to pay attention to the scoring and how the event is scored in particular. So for each of the activities, make sure you send me copies by May 1st of what you need. And if you want me to make the copies, then send those by May 1st, and then I'll run copies for you. Otherwise, just send me the answer key and the test, particularly for the lab and research-based events.